In this video you're going to see me do a multi-layered gel print that I pull in a sketchbook that I've decided to make into my colour combo sketchbook. Colour combo is a challenge or sort of challenge hosted by Kerry the Crafter or Kerry Griffith on YouTube. And it's also run by makers of mixed media art and artists on Facebook, and I will put their details in the description. Every month there's a new colour combo with 3 main Pantone colours, with the addition of black, white, 1 metallic and a mark making tool. And you basically make a project using those colours, any kind of project, it doesn't have to be gel printing, and you just put it in the group, and it's a fun way to explore colour. So this is my attempt for February. The official colours for February are pomegranate, dragonfly, harvest pumpkin, and the mark making tool is a heart. So your project should have those 3 colours in it. It should also have a heart in the final element should you choose to want to put a heart in it, which is quite fitting for the month of February. Anyway, I've found the 3 closest colours that I have to the challenge, and they're just a basic grade acrylic from the range here in the UK. They're not a very heavy body and they're not the best quality. They're what I started gel printing with, but they were actually the closest colour to the challenge this month. So I opted to use those and make them work. So you'll see me using acetate stencils or mylar stencils that I've made myself, or I'll be using quickly made stencils like what you see, well, masks really, not stencils, and they're made out of either copier paper or freezer paper because then they can be reused. And I just keep going with this print. I know I should have stopped probably 2 coats of paint ago, but I wanted extra paper to be able to collage with as part of this challenge as well. I have my companion gel plate there so that I can put excess paint on it and then lift it onto these A4 address labels that I will eventually use to cover a book or a box or something, and it's a way to not waste paint. But I also have sort of A4 books that I put excess paint in that I can then collage over when I filled a book and I'm happy with it, or I can just mark, make or doodle on it. I'll show those at some point. You'll have to bear with me because this is my first voiceover and I'm just getting the hang of it, and it's amazing how quickly your mind goes blank when you know you need to be talking. So do bear with me. On the left is my A4 gel press plate, and on the right is my 10x8 gel press plate. I use all different sizes of gel plates. This particular stencil that I'm using is made out of freezer paper, which is kind of glossy on both sides, so it doesn't stick and it's more durable than paper. I like how that came out. I wish that I had lifted it with rice paper instead of newsprint paper, but I just keep going. And I actually put more paint on there than I needed on purpose because I needed some on the companion plate. And also this paint is really thin and I'm not used to that grade of paint anymore, but I also don't want to waste it, so I made the best out of it. Based on colour theory, you have to be a bit careful mixing the blue, the sort of reddy tone and the orange tone, because otherwise they can turn to mud. and that's definitely not what you want unless you want a brown colour, of course. This newsprint piece is bothering me because I'm just not happy with how it looks, and you'll see that I keep going back to it. So I do stop printing with it eventually. I do also fix the camera angle soon. I really like how this print came out. I love layering stencils so that you get all different marks in between, because the effect is just something you cannot physically make yourself. And this, I'm using Graduate Pearl White paint. I love picking up prints with this because it leaves a nice effect, and actually it lifts the paint and the layers really well. I'm just lifting this print with tissue paper. It's not wet strength tissue paper, but it's also not as weak as just normal tissue paper. You have to be gentle with it, but it does lift well. You just have to be gentle with it, like I wasn't a second ago. I'm just adding some lightness to some of the gel prints that need it on the address labels. I think I forget to show you these at the end, but they turned out quite nice. This has been drying on the gel plate for probably about a minute. Not long enough, but some of the detail that comes out is really nice. And these masks I've just made out of Mylar. I love what is happening on the plate right now. So yes, I make masks, some intentional out of Mylar, so I draw the shape and then cut it out. But I also have a box of the offcuts that are random shapes that you could never really imagine, but they look quite good, so I've kept those and you'll see them being used. That's a resin mould that I bought not for resin, but for the gel plate. I mean, I do have resin, not the typical clear resin, but white resin that I will probably use eventually, but for now I like using it on the gel plate. I now want to add a little more detail to my gel print on the left, but I don't want to cover the whole background, so I use my companion plate and just some cardboard that I've ripped a layer off so the corrugated card is on display, and it just adds some nice visual texture and another layer to the gel print that I'm making on the left. As you can see with this label, I haven't paid attention to the colours very well, and parts of it are starting to turn muddy. It's something that I can still use, but it's just something you have to be aware of. I'm lifting my print on the left with some copper paint, and I'm going to now attempt to put it into my spiral bound book. I was meant to make this print on my 8x10 plate, and I thought I'd got out my other 8x10, but it wasn't. It was my A4, so it's a little bit too big for the book, but I really like how it turned out, and you'll see me adding some hearts to it in a little while. I'm going to be making some more gel prints now. I'm sure I sort the camera out very soon. It's annoying me that it's wonky and off the page. Oh, there we go. That is made out of a lint roller and some twine. I saw someone doing it on YouTube. They had different lint rollers with different shapes and things on, so I thought I'd give it a go, and it's actually really cool. The imprint is quite subtle, I think because my paint was too wet and not a good grade, but it looked good. It's very subtle. I'm still not happy with that newsprint. I think it's going to have 1 or 2 more painted layers before I'm okay with it, and even then I'm not happy with it. I did too much. Sometimes you got to know when to stop, and I'm still trying to figure all of that out. But I do like using this corrugated cardboard, and then I leave the companion plate with the lint roller and pull it on some dictionary paper, and I really like how that turned out. I think this black is Art Studio by the range, but it's the heavy body one in different tubes from the range that's actually really good, and it's $1.99 for 120 mils. So it's a very affordable paint that I actually enjoy using. It takes a little longer to dry, but that's not usually a problem with all the layers that I usually add. What I've just added to my gel plate now are the offcuts from when I make stencils and masks, and they're so organic and a shape that you probably, well, I wouldn't naturally think of, that I quite like them on the gel plate. Just rolling off excess paint so I don't waste it. Yeah, I'm still not happy with this. I think there's one more layer after this. I think I'll put a blue layer on it. Just using my tissue paper and some dictionary pages to lift off the shapes on the gel print. I really like that blue with the black. Well, it's the turquoise really. I like this page. It's random. It's got words, it's got colours, and it's got marks on it. Yes, this is what I use on the newsprint for the final coat. And it made it usable, but I wouldn't say that I like it. This is a homemade stamp. I think it's got foam letters stuck to it. I just stick it on cardboard, and foam is the best, but you can use a variety of different things. Not every print you make you're going to like, and you just have to be okay with that, and I've got used to it. Some people say if you don't like it, it's not finished, but sometimes you have to be finished, otherwise you can't fix anything. So I'm okay with this. Not happy, but I managed to use it. Now I'm going to add some tissue paper with gold hearts using Gloss Gel Medium by Liquitex, but I didn't like how it looked in the end because it didn't go completely transparent, and I'm used to using certain papers that do go transparent. So I end up covering these hearts with copper paint. Initially it was just to soften the edges, but I had to remove them, but I've cut that out of the video. Here I made a simple heart mask, and I'm using the newsprint to protect the rest of the page, so I can spray paint some Liquitex acrylic spray paint in gold. And I do that, you can see where I've put the copper, the blocks, that's why I'm putting the hearts over it. So I spray, I think, 5 hearts because card makers, odd numbers are pleasing to the eye. And then I impatiently draw around the hearts with a Posca pen. I didn't want it to be neat. I should have waited for it to dry a bit, but I was being impatient. So I did quite a few layers so that it was more of a messy look rather than a neat heart shape. I really like how the gel print looks, and I'm glad it's my first entry in this book. This is going to be my colour combo book. And then I decided that I want to add a quote to each one of my gel prints every time I make a video. I'm going to catch up on the past 4 years worth as well, so there's going to be quite a few videos. I'm very happy with how this page turned out. I think you can see all of the original colours in there. The hearts, the metallic. Didn't use much black and white. And here's all the prints that I made. I'm going to be using those in a collage that will come out after this video. I really like this one. I like these subtle textures. that's the end of this video. Thank you for staying and watching. Hopefully my voiceovers will improve the more I do them. Have a good weekend.